God stopped it. There are things that would have consumed you. There are things that many have perished from. There are storms that have come your way, but God stopped it. God prevented things from harming you, things from destroying you and your entire household. Why? Because you are a child of God. You belong to Him. He has called you. He has dragged you. He has put you out of the muddy clay and He calls you by name. God stopped it. A story is told in the scriptures, in the book of Acts, when Paul was on the island called Malta, he had met the locals, and as he had gathered the sticks, the wood to light up the fire. A snake all of a sudden fastened on his arm, and what is amazing is that the people that were around him waited for him to fall dead. They waited for him to perish. But as they waited and waited, Paul was still standing. He was unharmed. He was not hurt from the bite. Nothing hurt him. Though he was a viper, though he was venomous, God stopped it. God protected him from being hurt. Why? Because he is a child of God. There are things in your life, there are predicaments, there are things that would have made you go crazy, but God prevented them because the hand of the Lord was upon you, because you are anointed, because you belong to Him, because He has put a hedge around you, a hedge around your family, a hedge around your household. God prevented it from coming to you. Imagine how many people you have greeted within this pandemic, how many people you have come in contact with, but God has stopped that virus from coming near you. Yes, you have looked upon it. You may not even have known it. You may not have known that you have interacted with many people, but God has prevented you. God has preserved you. God has not allowed a calamity, destruction, and a pestilence to come over you and your family. A story is told in the book of Daniel. There were three men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Now the king by then, King Nebuchadnezzar, had made a decree that anyone who does not bow down to the image that he had made would be thrown into the burning furnace. But these three men stood up, they gathered and said, we shall not bow down to this image. Even if our God does not save us, we shall not bow down. So when the king learned about it, they threw these three men in the burning furnace. And as they were throwing them in the burning furnace, this is what happened. The men who had gathered the three men, the men who had thrown them were burnt. But these three men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, not even their hair was burnt. And as the king looked down to see whether the men were still alive, he saw that there was a fourth man besides them. And he said, the man who was beside them looked as though he was the Son of Man. He looked like a god. So God stopped them from being burnt. Another story is told in the book of Daniel. Now, when Daniel was thrown into the lion's den, the lion did not consume him. The lions did not hurt him. It was as though the lions were fasting. God stopped it. God prevented it. God preserved His righteous man, Daniel, from being consumed. He lived to tell the testimony, the goodness of the Lord. There are things that God has prevented you. There are things that your enemy, your adversaries, your colleagues, your associates, those that are around you have plotted against you. They have conspired against you, but God has prevented it from happening to you. God is still with you. God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. He protects his children. He shields them from destruction. Now, the story is told about Joseph. Now, Joseph had a dream from the Lord, and Joseph was so excited, and he told his siblings, he told his brothers, but his brothers were not happy about Joseph's dream. His brothers planned for his destruction. His brothers planned to place him into a pit. They planned to sell him, but God stopped it. God prevented him. Though they sold him to a land that is foreign, God was with him. God had protected him. God was with him through the storm. God was with him through the fire. God was with him through the darkest hours. God stopped it. God is with you. You should not worry. You should not fear. You should not look at what is happening around you. But what you should look at, you should look at God. You should put your eyes focused on Jesus. Do not give too much attention on the storm. Do not give too much attention on what is around you. Or yes, you may have bad news may have been brought to your household. Your kids may have perished. You may be suffering of an incurable disease. You may be bedridden. You may be facing depression. But God is going to stop it. God has remained God. He's the Alpha and Omega. He's the beginning and the end. In him there's no darkness, and in him there is light. God is love. He will never love you more than he loves you. He will never love you less, and he will never love you more. He remains the same. His love is constant. The scripture says, for God so loved the world that he gave his only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but will be saved. If you believe in his Son, you are not going to perish. You will be saved. When many will be running to and fro, when many will be hiding, you will be saved. You belong to him. God stopped it. Fear not, for God is with you.